Now, the United States of America apparently has renewed a push in recent days to secure a ceasefire between the State of Israel and Lebanon, where the Israeli forces have carried out a stepped-up offensive in the last 8 weeks. So as the war between Israel and Lebanon continues to drag on, the Lebanese have voiced skepticism about the American envoy's visit to the Lebanese capital, Beirut, in bringing about any kind of a development that would result in a ceasefire, isn't it?
We have tried what happened yesterday many times before, but we're optimistic because Speaker Berry is saying that we've put everything into it and the ball is now with the Americans and the Israelis. If the Americans have intention towards Lebanon that things go well and things will be solved, then be it. But if the Americans don't have the intentions, at the end you can't trust the Americans. They say one thing to you and do another.
Now, there were constant explosions that were carried out by the Israelis in several South Lebanese villages where Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah have been exchanging fire. Now, this is the scale of the bombing that Israel has carried out in Lebanon persistently for the last 8 weeks. There was smoke that was seen rising from the rubble in Lebanon's Nabatea area as emergency workers tried to look for any victims who could be trapped underneath the debris of these buildings that were bombed by the Israelis. The members of the Lebanese intelligence unit also inspected the site of an Israeli strike in South Lebanon's Saraf and that hit an army post. Lebanese military has said that this Israeli attack claimed the lives of 3 soldiers from the Lebanese army.
Last night, I was sitting and watching television and my niece was praying at my place. I told her the Israeli drone is here. The drone was not going away. Then a military aircraft arrived. We thought that the shattered glass fell upon us. What did we think? We thought it's a sonic boom. My neighbor said no, it's not a sonic boom, it's a strike on the army. I went outside and found ambulances, but one should remain steadfast, God willing.
Now, Hezbollah said that it fired the guided missiles at the Israeli forces as they attempted to evacuate the wounded soldiers in southern Lebanon. The pro-Iranian group in a statement has said that it wounded Israeli soldiers in a missile strike in the border town of Markaba before firing a second one at an infantry unit that came to remove the wounded. Hezbollah said that it then targeted another guided missile, a 3rd infantry unit that came to try and recover the dead and the wounded. Now, the Israeli army claims that 2 reservist soldiers were killed and 3 others were wounded in these attacks by Hezbollah. The IDF has also accused Hezbollah of firing on 2 United Nations peacekeeping bases in Lebanon. In a recent development, the US envoy held a meeting with Hezbollah allied parliament speaker Nabi Berri. Amos Hochstein told reporters that he saw a real opportunity to end the fighting. He also met with the Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati and the Army Chief Joseph Aoun. Now, remember, the Americans have been saying for a very long time that they're working day and night tirelessly for a ceasefire, but at the same time, they've continued to supply the State of Israel with all the arms that it is using both in Lebanon and in the Gaza Strip.
This is a moment of decision-making. I'm here in Beirut to facilitate that decision, but it's ultimately the decision of the parties to reach a conclusion to this conflict. It is now within our grasp.
The Lebanese parliament speaker Nabi Berri reportedly said that the situation is good in principle, adding that his team and the US representative still had some technical details to settle. Now, the US State Department also said that an agreement to end the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah was within reach.
President's Special Envoy Amos Hochstein was in Beirut today, meeting with the Speaker of the Lebanese Parliament. He gave a press statement after that where he made clear that we have made significant progress and that an agreement is within reach, but it's going to take decisions by both parties, by both Israel and Lebanon, to actually get an agreement, and that's what we're going to continue to push for.
Now, WION's correspondent from the State of Israel, Jody Cohen, has sent this report from Ra'anana in Israel. Listen to what she has to say.
American envoy to Lebanon, Amos Hochstein, has called meetings in Beirut for a ceasefire between Israel and the terror group Hezbollah very productive. However, he is not yet travelling to Israel as expected. Instead, he's staying in Lebanon to discuss technical details. That's after the IDF said there were rockets fired and a drone attack from Lebanon on Wednesday. The drones reportedly crashed south of Haifa after interception attempts. Meanwhile, in Gaza, Prime Minister Netanyahu has offered $5 million and safe passage out of Gaza to anyone who frees a hostage. The UN Security Council is voting on a resolution calling for an unconditional ceasefire in Gaza and the release of all hostages. But Israel opposes the resolution because it doesn't link the ceasefire to the freeing of the hostages. And Netanyahu has said that Israel won't leave Gaza if Hamas is in power and the hostages are still there. This is Jodie Cohen for WION World is One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.